Welcome back to Fast Money. Bitcoin sinking below $10,000 before recovering most of its losses. But despite today's comeback, Bitcoin is still seeing a market cap loss of around $156 billion since hitting highs a month ago. So while Bitcoin is having its month of hell, it is not the only coin that has slumped. Ripple losing more than $100 billion in market cap since hitting all-time highs just 2 weeks ago. Ethereum and Litecoin both also seeing market cap losses of $40 billion and $11 billion respectively since plunging from their highs. And though the crypto market has been nothing less than volatile, the past few days have marked the first big sell-off in cryptocurrencies since many retail investors piled into the space over Thanksgiving weekend. So now that America has seen the dark side of crypto, is a sell-off signaling more pain to come? Dan.
It could be, and just like markets overshoot to the upside, they can overshoot to the downside. This has been a really speculative period for almost 2 months now. I mean, the run-up that we saw in November into December, towards the end of December, and, a mania broke. The fever broke, and now it has the potential to go lower. And I think what's important to remember is the people who've been in this since 2013, they've seen these sorts of fluctuations for years. This is new to speculators, people like myself, who've been gambling in it over the last year, and that's what it is. And I just want to link this up to the conversation we were having a little bit before in the stock market today, that we're starting to see, in my opinion, some of that irrational exuberance in stocks, in single stocks. So to me, I think that the air came out of crypto. It's likely to come back at some point. I don't know from where, but now we're seeing a little bit of that excitement in single stocks, which to me is a little dangerous.
Well, we separated, I think, crypto at least from the market yesterday. And I think in a down market, crypto gets killed. Market does what it does. Up market, it's very different. But I do think you have a place where people have levels that they want to play. I think in Bitcoin, if you look at the level, 12,500 roughly on the charts was at least the uptrend, which it absolutely violated. But I think one of the reasons why people love crypto also is because you can trade this, and there is this volatility. I traded that trust intraday. NAV, BTC. Premium, who cares what there is? My sense is when I come in, and what I've seen with the way this trades is it opens down huge.
So what's
and
your
then
range
closes
on
the mark.
Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust?
What is the range? So today, today I bought it at 1430 and I sold it at 1630.
Okay.
And to me, that's a trade that obviously I had very little insight into how we got there, other than I felt like the risk is to the upside after settling out. I'm happy to be there.
It's real quick, and you tweeted this today, so I'm giving you credit. But Citi came out and today said possible fall to 5605 to 5673 in Bitcoin could be speedy. Great. How do you, I mean, come on, 5605 to 5673? That's the absurdity of,
very precise. Or 5606.
But that's how absurd the whole thing has gotten, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Crypto Carnage has our next guest looking at some key levels to watch for two cryptocurrencies in particular. So let's go off the charts with the one and only Rich Ross of Evercore ISI. He's over at the Plasma to break it down. Hey, Rich.
Hi, Melissa. Look, once bitten, twice shy. There's only one number that matters in Bitcoin. I'm going to show you what it is here. So look at this gray line here. That's the 100-day moving average. Okay, comes in around 88.48, 88.58. In Chinese, 8's good luck, and today it worked in Satoshi. He's from Japan. He founded Bitcoin. Stay with me. Now, why is it important here? This is over 2 years. Here's your moving average. You hold, you hold, you hold. I don't know if it holds. It probably doesn't hold, but it's good for a bounce off these levels. Keep in mind, this doesn't look like much on the chart given the magnitude of the move. We're looking at a log scale chart. Once again, you can Google it, look it up. You've lost half your money. 50% in just a month. So it's never safe to buy Bitcoin. Let's be crystal clear about that. Now, look, let's take a look at the Ether. Hunter S. Thompson here. Okay, here's the purple line. Done a little bit better. It's only been trading for about 6 months publicly. This is the 50 days. So you kind of test and hold here today. But once again, you're not going to sleep well at night with the warm blanket of the 50-day as your security, given something that has a 45% intraday range like we saw today. That's ludicrous. So there's your Bitcoin, there's your Ethereum. There's some levels to watch. But once again, let's not overplay it, either the technicals or the fundamentals, whatever those might be, as it pertains to the cryptocurrencies.
Rich comes over, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Has to. I don't know why I asked.
Well, why do you even ask?
This is the pantheon of technical analysts. Thank you,
Pantheon.
Good to see you. Thank you. You too.
You know, Rich, when it comes to these charts, what strikes me is that it feels like this recent move higher has been fueled in large part by so-called weak hands. And in the stock world, that would be very sort of a bad thing, right? I mean, this reminds me of, remember when there was a biotech shakeout, and biotech was going up and up and up, and all of a sudden everybody and their brother owned biotech stocks. Generalists owned biotechs. And then there's a shakeout. it took a long time for it to come back because those weak hands never re-entered the market. How does that factor in? The fact that the recent move higher was not done by strong hands, so to speak.
Well, look, there's weak hands in stocks, and then there's what we just showed on the charts, which is almost like tiny little baby hands. You know, I think the average age of the Bitcoin trader on the Coinbase app, from what I hear anecdotally, is closer to 13 than it is to 45. So let's just be perfectly clear. There are people trading it because you can download an app and be up and running with a credit card in a matter of seconds. So let's not even compare this to stocks for a second. What bothers me is that we're staring at the greatest bull market in the last 20 years, where you can double your money in like one of the world's best industrial companies, like a Boeing, which you're sort of pillaring here for no good reason, up over 200% in 2 years. And we're talking about this thing here that's lost 50% of its value in a month. So if you have a choice, pile A is stocks, which are like awesome, and pile B is this, is sort of a pile. So I like pile A. There's a lot to like about stocks.
Rich, why the 100-week average? Why is that so powerful? And you know, is it just for Bitcoin, or is this your bottom line determinant for everything?
No, it's a great question. I got that today. The only reason you use it is because it's worked. You know, people say, well, what moving average is your favorite?
Got it.
My favorite moving average is the one that works. So Bitcoin, as you see, over 2 years, whatever method there is to the madness, which is almost none in terms of the methodology, it's about the only thing that's worked in terms of defining support for this trend. So, you know, you heard from a Citi strategist earlier. He gave you a downside target. That was based on a break, not to tell you what his work was, but you look at the next moving average down, you go to the 150-day. I think it comes in around that 5,600 level. So the only thing that's worked, look, the 50-day was up around 12.5. I thought you might get a bounce off there on Friday. Obviously, that worked really well, but you use a 12.3 stop. Whatever you use to get into a trade, use to get out. Keep tight stops at crypto tops. That's the first rule of trading, and that's what we're staring at here.
So you think crypto is a pile of something not good?
Of dreams.
Are the crypto proxy stocks, like an overstock is what I'm really thinking of, because that's probably the closest thing. Is it also in this pile?
Well, look, it's interesting that the stocks that have been painted with sort of the tint of crypto, Square, NVIDIA is another one, not to say NVIDIA is a pure play. Obviously, a lot going on there with AI, stock that I love, by the way. They've held up pretty well, all things considered. So I think there are probably two different discussions. At least those companies have fundamentals, whereas this stuff over here, not so much in terms of the fundamentals. So let's separate the stock discussion. But of course, some people will trade them sort of in tandem. But once again, stocks are doing just fine, even amidst the carnage here.
It sounds like you just hate it, or you would hate it when clients ask you about cryptocurrency.
Well, I just think as I travel...
You're like, why are we talking about this when there are actually stocks to invest in that are moving?
I think, look, I'm an institutional analyst, which is not to say that they are better than retail, but I focus on institutions, okay? Those are the people that sort of pay my way in this world. And all of that being said, I can't find a single one that has bought a single cryptocurrency
because they can't,
for the fund.
But they're asking you because they want to.
No, they're asking me because they own it in their personal accounts. So these are traders. These are people looking for a shortcut that are gambling. If the government wants to crack down on crypto, they can legalize football betting.
Some of the smartest people in finance, in technology, in investing, they're fascinated by this stuff. They're fascinated by cryptography. They're fascinated by the blockchain. You talk about fundamentals of these things. They don't have any cash flows or this and that, whatever. You could have seen the same thing about Web 1.0 and some pretty big winners, okay? So right now, Bitcoin just happens to be the best use case for blockchain technology. And some of the smartest people in the world are convinced that this is going to be the next big thing the way the internet was. So I just think it's a little glib to come on here and say, say things like, if you want doubles by Boeing, Boeing's had $93 billion in sales in the last 5 years, and now they've become a lot more profitable.
Look, you guys like it when we fight, so let's fight for a little bit. I was there for Web 1.0. I watched Amazon go from 1 to 1,000 and back to 1 before it went to 1,000 again. And you know what? Smart people can go broke too. We've seen that many times, not just on Fast Money.
So the charts are going to save them, right? The charts are going to save them.
What's going to save them? Your analysis, you've been bearish for 2 years, and the stock market's gone up 100%. So where are you? You're not helping people make money. I mean, let's call it what it is.
That's not
true. You haven't liked Trump. The market's soared, and take politics aside, you've been wrong. So don't say that I'm glib. It's right or wrong. It's not about glib or serious.
I think Dan's done a good. Listen, Dan's outspoken in many things, but Dan's helped.
Some good trades.
Absolutely. So
guys,
we're getting angry.
We're good. We got we got the chartist here. He's got his stick, and it's fantastic, pal.
Well, it is what it is.
Don't come on here and tell me I've been. But you don't know what I've done. You don't know what my call is. Okay, so go piss off. Seriously.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me what's the call now.
Dude, seriously.
Okay, a tough moment here on Fast Money.
We're gonna leave it there. Rich, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Evercore ISI.
Well, look, I think the point is that there's no question that there are a lot of people on every strata of this market structure that are investing in the infrastructure here. There's also no denying the fact that some of the biggest investors in Bitcoin are probably people that know nothing about stocks. And I think that's the crossfire that Rich finds himself in. Ultimately, when you're trying to pick a level on Bitcoin, right now, if the 100-week average is something that's violated, that's something that looks kind of scary. And I think the reality is it's been holding it until it's not.
All right. I hope they hug it out. Still ahead, all this talk about Bitcoin has us wondering one thing: where in the world is BK? Well, we actually tracked him down, and you will not believe how he is trading this crypto carnage. That is later. Plus, Pete's made his way over to the plaza, warming up to the pitch. The one stock he says will deliver big profits when it reports earnings in a few weeks. The name? When Fast Money returns.